Welcome into the Davidson Wildcats Coaches Corner presented by Atrium Health. Matt Present joined by the head coach, Scott Abell. And coach, let's take a look back to Saturday's game against Elon, a 26-23 loss. But you guys were in it the entire way, led for much of the second half. And something you talked about immediately after the game was how you felt so pleased with the play up front on both sides of the line, specifically on the defense. How were you able to go up against such a bigger offensive line and have so much success and stay in the game the whole way?
Well, it's a formula. It's and part of that was us controlling the clock, which we did, right? You got to when you're giving up that much size up front on the defensive line, there's only but so much, right, that they can absorb. And so, how do you protect them, and especially being such a young group, right? We played three freshmen up front Saturday, against the best team this program's played, right, since returning to maybe Division I. And so the thought was, hey, we really need to try to control the game, control the clock. And so, that started with us on offense. We held the ball 37 minutes, right? And so to 22 minutes. Well, that's immediately going to hopefully take some pressure off that group up front on the defense. Now, with that said, when they were on the field, man, they just did a dynamic job. We thought the key was, really letting our speed, battle their size, right? And our guys did a phenomenal job with that. They really did, right? And we had a few moments where, we quite didn't fit the way we should have, okay? And they got out running, but we expected that. I mean, they're a full scholarship CAA program that has been in the playoffs consistently over the last 5 years and preseason ranked 21 in the country. So we knew we knew they were going to score. We knew, we couldn't completely contain them all the time, but the fact that we were able to really control the line of scrimmage on both sides, it really gave us the opportunity to win that football game.
Offensively in the second quarter, 3 touchdowns, all big plays, all 30 yards or more on the scores. How much does the offense that you run set up those big plays by moving guys around, by moving side to side and creating small plays that open up the bigger play?
Well, for us, I mean, we controlled the clock, but we do want to make big plays. Like we don't want, we're not traditionally that let's grind it out type of offense. We can be, okay, but with our formation sets and the way we move guys around, as you said, and our option looks, it creates a lot of one-on-one stuff, right? And not just in our passing game, but our running game. And so, those safeties were running out of the middle of the field. And I knew it was just a matter of time. After that first drive, we had some success, right? We didn't put any points on the board, but we established our inside running game. And I knew then, hey, if we just stuck with it, we'd break 1 or 2, and that's kind of what our offense does, right? And because those safeties were leading the field. So if you broke that first wave, that first line of scrimmage and those linebackers, there's no one else there. And that's what we saw in the second quarter. Okay. And really credit to our guys up front, a credit to Tyler, who's, those plays are read plays, they don't always look like it. Cause they just keep handing off. Well, that's what they were asking us to do. Right. The offense is designed to take what the defense gives you. So, they were really forcing the give, not letting us get on the perimeter. And I think that was obvious. Right. And so just a great job. And then those 2 O-backs who really first live game experience really being, the lead horse, right? And they did a phenomenal job, right? I cannot say enough about Dylan and Coy, right? They combined for over 200 yards rushing against an elite program, and they just trusted it, right? They've worked from the day they got here in our system. They're one's a sophomore, one's a junior. They've gotten a lot of reps. And they just trusted everything that they've been coached to do, and they stayed in there and they popped out the other end. And certainly that third touchdown, we took the field with just over a minute left, and our thought was, hey, if we can get a first down quick, then let's try to move the football and get a field goal, okay? And so, second down, we had a pretty good option play on the perimeter, right? Got the first down, and all of a sudden we completed a pass, and we're near midfield, and so. Then you start thinking, okay, we're definitely got a shot to get in field goal range, but let's at some point, find the opportunity to take a shot downfield. And when we did that, Tyler made a heck of a play. We got great protection there. offensive line gave him time. He stepped up in the pocket, bought some more time, and then he found Jaden Waddell down the sideline, right? And Jaden's another young athlete. Like our young guys, I can just talk about the youthfulness of this football team, right? They really stepped up, and Jaden's a part of that package that comes in. He's a slot/receiver combo guy that he's learning the slot world. He came in as a receiver for us, and so we knew we wanted to involve him in our passing game Saturday, and gave us the opportunity to do that. And really proud. That was a big moment for us. And so great second quarter. Great momentum going into halftime.
You talk about these sustained drives and owning time of possession. And the one that stands out for me is the one in the fourth quarter. You guys get the ball back with 12 and a half minutes to play. And early on that drive, which ended up being a 9-minute, 40-second, 16-play, 59-yard drive, you had a fourth down at your own 28-yard line. You start off by sending the punt team on the field, call timeout, end up going for it. Just talk me through that decision-making process and how big that sequence was, even though ultimately that drive didn't end up with points.
Yeah, well, when we took the field there, the goal was, so we took the field with 11 minutes to go in the game, right? A little over 11. And I told Tyler, hey, we're going to work the clock here. We're going to work a 4-minute drill, which is kind of crazy, right? We're built like that if we want to be with our running game. And so Tyler did a great job of utilizing that clock, running it down under 5 seconds every time. And then the fourth down decision there early on, we saw the chains. I sent the punt team out initially and really immediately had I had that thought that, okay, that's a mistake. We can get this, right? And, when you're the underdog, right, you got to take some chances, right? You got to make sure that you're the aggressor, right? And so we took the time out there, got ourselves settled, and came back and got it really easily. I mean, Dylan about broke it right there, to be honest. And so then we continue to work the clock, and we work on those things, and really proud of our guys. We were probably one first down away from maybe running the clock out. And that's as much on me as anybody, right? We just kind of went right at them for about 10 straight plays, the opportunity, we probably had opportunity to get on the edge right there. That last play, and we took a timeout when the play clock was running down on the fourth down. And that kind of came back to bite us, right? The play clock was running down. I wasn't sure we were going to get it off in time and didn't want to take a 5-yard penalty. Hindsight, I think, the ball's being snapped as it goes to 0. I don't think we would have gotten a flag. And we had them in the look we wanted. And then when they came back out after the timeout, we got a different look. And I wanted to save that timeout. I wish I hadn't saved that timeout. I wish I'd taken the timeout and make sure we were set, because it was such a pivotal play. But, those are things that you can beat yourself up over for months. And, they happen in every game, and whether there's something on our end as coaches or players, there's always plays you look back on and say, okay, I wish I had that 30 seconds back, right? Every game, whether you win or lose. But, we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. We wanted to use the clock, give them the ball back with little time. And we did that. And, it didn't work out. They made a couple big plays, right? But at the end of the day, really incredibly proud. I'll start defensively. I thought we just played tremendous football, right? We flew around. When I think of guys like Jake Alexander, right? Okay, and Jalen Jefferson at linebacker, just making plays after plays. Couple tackles for losses, just chasing people down, right? And then Jordan Reed up front, we just thought had a really dominating game for us, right? They had a hard time with him, and then Tyler Solomon, you mix in James Bull at end, who was undersized, probably giving up 70 pounds, and TJ Elliott, really his first game at Mike Backer in 2 years, and played really well, and our secondary played well. And so, it is what it is, right? We wanted that victory. I thought, to be honest, I thought we had earned it, but at the end of the day, we came up on the short end of the stick on the scoreboard. And that happens when you challenge your program with programs that are elite programs at your level, full scholarship, nationally ranked programs, that that it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a challenge. right? But that's how you get better. That game goes a lot further than us playing a lower level program, lower level, division team and winning by 30, right? And that's what the takeaway is here, right? You want to win it, but at the end of the day, if we can move on and understand the importance of playing an opponent like that, it will pay huge dividends down the road.
Finally, Coach, your next game, you start conference play March 13th at Stetson. How do you structure practice between now and then? What are you looking to accomplish heading into conference play?
Well, the first thing is really trying to get into more normal rhythm practice, right? That's something I really haven't talked over because it wasn't an excuse for Saturday, but we went into Saturday and legitimately probably only had like 9 normal practices because of COVID, right? And because of contact tracing, right? And man, what resilience of a football team. I give our leaders on our football team so much credit, our captains, our seniors, right? Those upperclassmen, those juniors who knew we were having to build practices differently, right? And we had guys in contact tracing, guys coming out. It really was crazy. I mean, there was a time probably about 10 days out from the game, we were wondering if we were going to be able to play the game. All right. So the fact that we played and we played well, I'm really proud of that. Now, as we leave that game and we start turning our attention to the PFL, okay, my goal is hopefully we can now get into a rhythm of practice, right? And get an opportunity to build some depth, right? Get an opportunity to now we have game film of so many young players, right? We played so many new faces out there Saturday, and get them a chance to watch film, right? And say, okay, now this is what it looks like in a game, right? These are the corrections we can make. Let's learn from this. And then, we'll have what we call these next man up scrimmages. They really pay off for us, right? And we've been doing this for years, but, there'll be a time where probably maybe next weekend we'll have a next man up scrimmage, and that will encompass guys who maybe didn't get playing time on Saturday, okay, that you can't get quite those meaningful snaps yet for one reason or another. Maybe they have seniors in front of them. Maybe they're learning a new position. Maybe they're just not quite ready. But they need to keep growing as a football player because their day will come. And so I look forward to having a couple of those scrimmages because we haven't had them. We haven't been able to do it. And then, getting everyone really healthy, ready to roll when we go to Stetson, and that's the key. We were missing some key guys Saturday. Our slot room really had been decimated with injuries and COVID, and we had some new guys learning it, right? And some new faces there. And so I look forward to getting hopefully the whole cast and characters here practicing, getting ready for PFL.
Well, Coach, we look forward to seeing you back out there soon. Appreciate you spending some time with us here on the Coach's Corner.
Thanks, Matt.
This has been the Davidson Wildcats Coach's Corner presented by Atrium Health. Conference play in the PFL begins March 13th at Stetson, and we will be on the air 30 minutes prior to kickoff.